Just a short video on today's repairs on the chainsaw. What model is it? I think it's a 137. And what's happened here is we're using it up there and it's not that old actually, it may be just cheap parts, but this is actually broken off here. I think it's meant to be attached like this one, so it's broken off, so we're just replacing that. It's got a little arrow on it, so took the cover off, just the 213s, undid the chain and the bar, and I took off the top cover, took out the spark plug, and I fed a rope in, turned the engine over so it jams the piston, and then this has an arrow on it, so I put a thin shifter across there. They're not that tight, and I just undid it and it came off. So we're at this point here, so I got a new bearing there, so I've stuck that on. There's a little spacer behind it as well. I'm just doing it in the reverse of what I did. So the next job is actually to get this new parts on here. So there is a little washer in the back of there as well, so just make sure, because it's not in this one, so we will fit that on there, the drum, and then not sound, so get the wee washer in there, and then basically you got the arrow saying off, so it's the opposite way to put it on. Now, I'm not a chainsaw specialist, I'm just doing this for myself, so we'll do this and then tighten it as best you can by hand. And then what I'll do is, I've got my thin shifter, so I used it across that bits there, and I just turned it as basically as hard as I could, and we'll get that tightened on, and then I will show you what we're going to do next. So I've tightened that in. It can only go so far, and then it jams on the rope going in there, so you can actually just take that out now and it's fine. Next job is to get this spring out of there. I've got a new one of them. It's a bit of a pain of a job, but we'll have to give it a go. I've done it before and I remember it, so we'll just get on with it now. So as I said, it's a bit of a pain in the arse, so I took that off, 2 screws there, there's a screw here. I don't even know if it seems to work anyway, so you've just got to make sure, because this is like a captive nut thing here, so just make sure that's all set up right. I had a bit of hassle getting the bit in there to sit right, but it seems to be okay now. So we'll fire it back together. So obviously I'll put all the old stuff out of the way so don't get mixed up. I think it was maybe just the fact that it was a cheap part that's broken off. So, right, so we'll get the few bits and pieces. So obviously bar, chain, clutch band back on there, spark plug back in, adjust everything up, and then make sure there's fuel and oil, and we will see how it runs and if it drives, because it wasn't driving at all. So here we go. So I've just put that bar on loose at the moment, but you can already see that it's spinning the thing, so it's all connected. So I'll connect all this up properly, make sure it's running right. I've actually been using 75-90 gear oil rather than chainsaw oil. It seems to work perfectly fine enough. although it absolutely stinks when it gets hot. But yeah, it seems to be okay. I don't know if any of you chainsaw enthusiasts out there can tell me why, because I've never actually seen this before, but when I've been using it quite a lot, it's actually melted the top here of this exhaust. Sort of, I know it's plastic, but you know the bit that sits over here. Is it running hot? Do I need to change my mixture? Let me know. So just slacken that off, drop the pin bit into the bar. I've got this pin in place, so I'm just going to put the 2/13s on there and then adjust up this chain and put the spark plug back in, and we're nearly there. So I've adjusted it, I've left these slack, adjusted the chain, it's got a bit of play in it, it's not overly tight I would say. So then I've tightened these up, so that's all good. Hopefully, we'll find out. So a spark plug, it's not that old actually, and then because I did service it recently, and then this top cover, and then we'll see if it runs and drives.